Hello and welcome to the Game Ranker Show. I am your host, Nate the Game Guy. In this video, we're going to be looking at the top 10 first-person shooters from the Xbox 360. In this list, we're going to be taking a look at exclusive titles along with third-party titles as well, and we will be looking at all these shooters when it comes to their gameplay, story, and other elements which makes them top quality titles. There is also going to be a limit of one game per franchise, which means the best game out of a specific franchise will be placed right into this video. Please keep in mind that this video is going to be 100% opinion based, so if you happen to agree or disagree, feel free to comment your thoughts down in the comment section down below, and let's have a civilized discussion as to what you may consider to be some of the top 10 first-person shooters on the Xbox 360. Now, without further ado, let's dive right into this video and take a look at some of these games in store. Starting off the list at number 10 is Perfect Dark Zero. This launch title for the 360 back in 2005 is a prequel to the Nintendo 64 classic. While the game itself did not receive the best reviews from back in the day, it can be a fun title for those with the right mindset. The game comes with a lot of interesting locations in its story, from the futuristic cities in China to the jungles, and comes with a variety of captivating weapons and gadgets. The story, voice acting, and enemy AI certainly could have been improved upon. However, the campaign can still provide enjoyment. Where the game really shines is with its multiplayer, with its various game modes from team deathmatch to capture the flag. You can also add bots into the matches that can hold up well to its human counterparts. You can also notice that the gameplay does move slower when compared to its Nintendo 64 counterpart. Despite some evident flaws that can be found within the game, it can still provide enough enjoyment to help make it onto this list. Moving along to number 9 is Far Cry 3. While some can certainly make the argument that the Far Cry series essentially follows a copy and paste format, but the truth of the matter is that Far Cry 3 certainly offered quite the experience back when it came out in 2012, especially how you were able to travel and explore the beautiful Rook Islands as Jason Brody as you would go through the game's story, take out different camps, go hunting, along with other miscellaneous tasks that you could do throughout the game. Of course, Far Cry 3 also introduced a phenomenal antagonist, which was Vas Montenegro, easily one of the most iconic characters throughout the Far Cry franchise. Vas certainly offered quite the experience within the game. And of course, with a game such as Far Cry 3, I would have to argue that the definition of insanity is not necessarily doing the exact same thing over and over and over again, expecting different results, but it would be not including this game right here into this list. Now, the question to ask is, can it play Crysis? Ranking in at number 8 is Crysis 2. It wouldn't be until 2011 is when console players would be introduced to the world of Crysis and would be able to go all in with the nanosuit. The nanosuit would allow players to use different abilities such as the cloak ability, nanovision, of course superhuman strength, and superhuman speed. It certainly offered quite the experience for console players for the first time, with a campaign that, even though it was slow to start, but once everything got rolling, it was a very entertaining campaign with lots of interesting sights for the player to take in. The game also came with some pretty fun multiplayer as well that was inspired by Call of Duty, that would also allow you to use the nanosuit abilities that you would be able to have during the campaign. So with those reasons right there, Crysis 2 makes it in at that number 8 spot. Now, when you've got a great game, you certainly have some fun. Of course, when you have 2 great games, you're even going to have even more fun. But when you've got 3 very enjoyable titles, now that is something to talk about. Coming on in at number 7 is the Orange Box. This compilation title came with Half-Life 2, Team Fortress 2, and Portal. All 3 games have certainly left their mark on gaming as a whole. With Half-Life 2, it took gamers on a campaign that certainly left quite a bit of enjoyment for many, and to this day, gamers are still wishing for a Half-Life 3. With Team Fortress 2, it left so many hours of enjoyment with its online multiplayer and introduced many to a lot of iconic characters with this title. And then with Portal, it was also a very iconic title with how you would try to solve different puzzles and try to progress to the different levels of the game. All 3 games were very iconic, and when you are talking about some very fun, very memorable memorable and some top quality titles when it comes to the first-person shooter genre, and then when you got them packed into one package, such as the orange box, it's pretty easy to put this title onto this list. Now at number 6 is Unreal Tournament 3. This arena FPS brought hours of fun with its various online game modes such as Team Deathmatch, Capture the Flag, Greed, Warfare, and more. The game looked incredible back in its day with the use of the Unreal Engine 3 along with its similar art style to Gears of War, as most likely because both games shared the same developer. The campaign story was acceptable and mostly consisted of matches with bots, but it was the multiplayer where the game truly shined. The game received great reviews from critics despite Unreal Tournament fans considering 3 to be one of the weaker entries into the series, with complaints such as less weapons and game modes when compared to previous entries. Thankfully for Xbox 360 players, the 360 release came with 5 exclusive maps, 2 exclusive playable characters, along with split screen for 2 players. Despite Unreal Tournament 3's apparent flaws when compared to previous entries, the game is still a solid title to put onto this list, and it would simply be unreal to have it left out. Now before this list continues along, I'd like to give a quick moment and invite all of you to consider stopping by my own personal game room channel, which is Nate the Game Guy, where you get to see my own personal video game collection, hear some of my tips when it comes to game collecting, along with me sharing other miscellaneous topics when it comes to game collecting. Now with that out of the way, let's continue back onto this list. Submerging down the list at number 5 is BioShock. This former Xbox 360 exclusive was absolutely incredible back during its day, with how it introduced the player to the world of Rapture, an underwater city that had many different environments and a lot of interesting characters, foes, and all kinds of different things to introduce to the player. The game offered a lot of different abilities that allowed the player to use to their advantage to help progress through the game and take on different enemies, and the weapon selection was also very good as well. While the game itself did not include a multiplayer as fans were disappointed by, it was the single player story and experience is what captivated gamers back in the year of 2007. With those reasons, it's pretty easy to include a game such as BioShock onto this list because of how fun it was back in its day and the incredible impact that it left on gamers back then. Making sure that this title isn't left out at number 4 is Left 4 Dead 2. This title greatly improved on the original Left 4 Dead and introduced 5 brand new campaigns along with a host of brand new characters. Just like the original Left 4 Dead, this game captivated gamers with its awesome co-op experience throughout the 5 different campaigns, and of course with those improved upon aspects from the original Left 4 Dead. It's pretty easy to include this one into this list. After all, who doesn't enjoy gunning down zombies with your friends, having a great time with tons of replay value thrown right in? So of course, it only makes sense to include this game right here into this list. Now this title right here was certainly a part of the golden era when it came to the Call of Duty franchise. Placed in at number 3 is Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2. That's right, the original release from 2009. This was a game that offered a lot of entertainment and enjoyment, whether you were playing its single player campaign, its online multiplayer, or Spec Ops. When it came to the single player campaign, it offered many memorable moments and offered a lot of non-stop action as you would go across many different locations across the globe. There certainly was a lot of enjoyment that was thrown right into its single player experience. Now, when it came to its online multiplayer, of course, just like the entire game as a whole, it was much more fast paced when compared to previous Call of Duty titles, and it offered a lot of incredible maps, great weapons to choose from, and it offered a huge variety of different kill streaks for the first time within a Call of Duty title. And then with Spec Ops, it offered a 2-player experience where you were trying to complete different missions, and it required both players to implement a good amount of teamwork, or otherwise the Spec Ops missions would not be completed. Overall, this was a title that was very difficult to leave out. It's pretty easy to throw this one right in onto this list. Now, this follow-up title would be the only first-person shooter that would even be able to hold up against the previous entry on this list. Ranking in at number 2 is Battlefield Bad Company 2. When it came to those that did not enjoy Modern Warfare 2 from back in the day, this would be the alternative to choose from. With its destructible environments, its dog tags that you could get by stabbing enemy players, and of course, its rush game mode, conquest, and its own single-player campaign that certainly offered a lot of different parodies and jokes that would make fun of Modern Warfare 2. This was the game of choice if Modern Warfare 2 was not your cup of tea. But even for those that did enjoy Modern Warfare 2, but also wanted things to be at a different take, this was still an enjoyable game. This game was much more focused on teamwork, and with the destructible environments, it certainly captivated many gamers that played this title. Battlefield Bad Company 2 is easily one of the best first-person shooters to come out on the Xbox 360's library of games. Now, this title right here was the definitive game that made so many people want to own an Xbox 360. Of course, I'm sure no one is surprised at watching this video that Halo 3 makes it in at that number 1 spot to be the best first-person shooter on the Xbox 360. With an incredible story, with an incredible campaign that would take you across many interesting environments, and this game certainly showed what Bungie was truly capable of. Of course, with its online multiplayer, there were so many memorable maps that were just so fun to take a part of, whether you were doing Team Slayer, Capture the Flag, or playing with your own custom games that you would be able to customize in the game to play with some of your friends or others that you would wish to join to play with you. With its theater mode, it certainly offered even more entertainment of what the game could truly offer. There was so much about this game that offered replay value, entertainment, wonderful memories when it came to playing with your friends. It's very easy to include this game at number 1 because with how good the story is, the multiplayer, Forge, building your own maps, it's pretty hard not to put this title at number 1 to be the best first-person shooter on the Xbox 360's library of games. Thank you so much for checking out the list. Please be sure to check out these other videos right here so you can see even more games being ranked accordingly. Don't forget to subscribe and be sure to hit that bell notification button so that way you can be notified when there are more games being ranked. Thank you for stopping by and see you next time.